Good morning, students. In the last class, we have discussed about phasor representation of AC EMF and AC current. Phasor, P-H-A-S-O-R, phasor. Phasor representation of AC EMF or AC current. I told you yesterday that to deal with the two alternating quantities taking place in the same circuit, we need the help of a term called a phasor, right? Yeah. When the phasor rotates in the anticlockwise direction, the projection of the phasor on the y-axis, two diameters are there, and the phasor is rotating in a circle, right? The projection of the phasor along the y-axis, when taken, we will get the value of the EMF and also the current at any instant. And also we can represent the current and EMF in terms of a graph, right? To deal with the two alternating quantities changing with the time, that means magnitude and direction of the alternating quantities are always changing. For example, electric current, what is called AC current, is a current whose magnitude is changing with the time and it changes periodically. Such two quantities, suppose when a circuit is applied with an AC EMF, the resulting current is also AC only. Many times I said that both will have the same frequency, but there can be difference in phase. Both will not go together. One may go ahead and the other may go behind, right? This kind of things takes place. Sometimes current is ahead, that time EMF will be behind. Sometimes EMF will be ahead and the current will be behind. Such things are called phase difference between current and EMF. This is due to the presence of some special kind of circuit elements like inductor, capacitor, etc. All these things I have said. And also we have discussed a AC circuit containing pure resistance. And we have seen that the graphical representation also we have made, that you have seen. One is for dotted, one is for current, and the continuous curve is for what is called EMF. Today, and also we have seen EMF applied is equal to 0 sin omega t, and resulting current is equal to I 0 sin omega t, right? There is no phase difference between current and EMF, right? All these things explained. Today we will discuss the same circuit, pure resistance circuit. Pure resistance circuit, the power consumed in a pure resistance circuit. We know that power P is equal to instantaneous power P is equal to instantaneous EMF and instantaneous current, because power P is equal to E into I, right? Because energy is equal to V into I into T. Am I correct? The energy utilized by a source to send a current through a device or a resistor is given by energy E is equal to, or work done by the source W is equal to W is equal to V into I into T. V into I into T, right? This we have already seen quite long ago, right? Yeah. When I discussed the power and all, that time I said this one, right? And also this is V is equal to I into R. Therefore, I square into R into T also we can write. The same thing can be equal to I square R into T. Because I is there, V is equal to I into R. I into R into I is equal to I square into R into T. This was again. Okay. Now, power in a circuit is in an electric circuit, power is the amount of energy utilized by a resistor or a device in unit time is called power. Power is equal to W by T. W by T. Therefore, that is equal to V into I into T divided by T. T and T cancels is equal to V into I. That means current into voltage is equal to power. Finished? Current into voltage is equal to power. In an AC circuit, the current as I and voltage as E, then instantaneous power is equal to E into I can write. When I write E into I, don't be confused with that, because that is voltage and the current already explained. Right? But E is equal to E0 sin omega t. This is equal to E0 sin omega t into I is equal to what? I0 sin omega t also I can write. This is equal to E0 I0 into sin square omega t. E0 I0 into what? Sin square omega t also I can write. That is, this is equal to E0 I0 E0 I0 into 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2. 1 minus cos 2 omega t divided by 2. This way also I can write, because sin square omega t is equal to 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2. Okay, this also I can write. That is, this is equal to, this is equal to E0 I0 divided by 2 minus E0 I0 E0 I0 cos 2 omega t divided by 2. Two terms it has. Right? Now, average power means in the whole cycle. Whole cycle means 0 to t second, capital T. The total average power is a power average. This is instantaneous. Instantaneous power has two terms. Instantaneous power has two terms. One is E0 I0 by 2, and other is E0 I0 cos 2 omega t divided by 2. Right? This is a constant part. This is a fluctuating part. Every time you must understand it. This is a fluctuating part because this term is depending on time t. When time t varies, this term also varies. In a full cycle, always remember, cosine function always turns to be equal to 0. In full time is 0 to t seconds. That means integral 0 to t seconds, right? That means P average is equal to integral 0 to t E0 I0 divided by 2. E0 I0 divided by 2 minus integral 0 to t E0 I0 cos 2 omega t the whole divided by 2. Right? This is 1 by t. We have to divide by 1 by t also. 1 by t also, because average power you have taken. The total variation for the whole time cycle, the time t for the full cycle is equal to 0 to t. Total value divided by t, average value. This also integral 0 to t divided by t, average value. The average value of a cosine function is always turned to be equal to 0. Therefore, this can be taken to be equal to 0. This is what we are getting as equal to this dt I forgot to write here, integral this to dt, right? Because it is integrated with respect to time. So this can be written as equal to 1 by capital T into E0 I0 by 2 can be taken outside. E0 I0 by 2 can be taken. Integral 0 to t 1 dt I can write. Integral 1 dt is equal to small t. This is equal to 1 by capital T into E0 I0 by 2 into what? Small t within limits of 0 to t. This is how it is integrated. Am I correct? Yes. Why? Integral 1 dt is equal to t. Very simple, right? So this is equal to 1 by capital T into E0 I0 divided by 2 into upper limit minus lower limit. That is t minus 0. T minus 0, right? Upper limit minus 1. This t and t cancels. You will get P average is equal to E0 I0 divided by 2. Very, very simple. So in the case of a pure resistance circuit, the power consumed is equal to E0 I0 divided by 2. E0 I0 divided by 2. This is equal to E0 by root 2 into I0 divided by root 2. E0 I0 by 2 means E0 by root 2 into I0 by root 2. Right? So E0 by root 2 is equal to EV. I0 by root 2 is equal to IV. Therefore, this is equal to EV into IV. EV into IV. This is the virtual power. EV, IV. Right? But EV is equal to IV into R. Why IV into R? Because this is a pure resistance circuit. So this can be written as equal to power is equal to IV into R. IV into R into IV, that is equal to IV square R we can write. Very, very simple. So in this case, we have seen that only resistance is there. Then the amount of power consumed by that element is equal to IV square. In DC, we have seen that I square. Power is equal to I square. In this case, it is IV square R. So this is about the power in the power consumed in a pure resistance circuit. Now we are coming to pure inductance circuit. So many circuits you have to study. This lesson is also, we shall be going to finish within a week, right? So most of your portions are finished now. I think all the students are taking much interest in understanding the basic theory and are trying to do numerical problems. Simple numerical problems we have tried first. Then your try must be very continuous. Then you will be able to do good questions, very tough questions, and also MCQs you have to do. Simple, what is called conceptual questions you have to undergo. Right? Yeah. Next is circuit contains pure inductance circuit. Inductance. Pure inductance circuit I am going to circuit. Right. So this figure shows a pure inductance circuit. And the inductor is adjusted, right? And right, E is equal to E0 sine omega t. Right? Any instant the current is I. This is L. L is the self-inductance of the coil, right? So here the figure shows a pure inductance circuit with self-inductance L connected across an alternating EMF E is equal to E0 sine omega. Instantaneous EMF E is equal to E0 sine omega. If I is the current at any instant through the coil and di by dt is the rate of change of current through the coil. So this why this sentence I am speaking of di by dt, because when EMF is supplied, current starts flowing through the coil, right? Am I correct? So when current starts to flow through the coil, what is happening is that the magnetic flux is created within the coil. Magnetic field is produced. Any coil, when current passes, a magnetic field is produced inside. Right? That means the magnetic flux is created within the coil. That will create an induced EMF in the coil that opposes the incoming current. Because the flux creation is due to change in current through the coil. So the current in the coil to become maximum, it will take some time. That means current in the coil grows to the maximum after taking a small interval of time. A time is necessary for the current to become maximum through the coil, because always the induced EMF is opposing the incoming current due to this EMF applied. Right? So there will be always a rate of change of current through the coil, that is di by dt. Then the EMF induced in the coil is given by, it's a very simple formula. EMF induced in the coil, EMF induced in the coil is equal to minus L into di by dt. This is also everybody knows. We have seen self-inductance and all of a coil. We have seen in the last class electromagnetic induction. So when EMF is supplied across this coil, current starts changing with the time. If the change in current through the coil is di by dt, then EMF induced in the coil, opposing EMF produced in the coil is given by minus L into di by dt. Therefore, applied EMF can be given as equal. Therefore, applied EMF is equal to minus of minus L into di by dt, because applied EMF is opposite that of the induced EMF. This is equal to L into di by dt. Also, I can write. This is the applied EMF. Right? That is applied EMF E is equal to, we can write L into di by dt. But applied EMF is equal to E0 sine omega. Therefore, what we can write is E0 sine omega t is equal to E0 sine omega t is equal to L into what? Di by dt. From this relation, we can write di is equal to. From this relation, we can write, therefore, di is equal to E0 by L into sine omega t sine omega t dt I can write. So you have found an expression for di from the relation. When we get di, a small value of current, the whole value of resulting current can be calculated. Now, integrating this function, we will get, therefore, I is equal to integral di, very simple. That is equal to integral E0 by L into sine omega t dt I can write. Okay, so this also done. This is equal to, so integral E0 by L means E0 L can be taken outside. E0 by L into integral sine omega t dt. Integral sine omega t dt I am writing. Okay. Integral sine omega t dt is equal to minus cos omega t by omega. Right? Minus cos omega t by omega. This is equal to E0 by L into what? Minus cos omega t, the whole divided by omega you will get. This is what is called IS. Right? Omega can be taken outside. That is, I is equal to E0 by L omega into minus cos omega t. Minus cos omega t. Or this is equal to minus A0 by L omega cos omega t. So this is a cosine function. A negative cosine function this is, right? Am I correct? Or I is equal to E0 by L omega into minus cos omega t is a negative cosine function. Right? The same thing can be done. This is the original relation. This is the original relation. Same thing can be written as equal to, that is I is equal to E0 by L omega into sine omega t minus pi by 2 also we can write. Because sine omega t minus pi by 2 can be proved as equal to minus cos omega t. Right? So this is the very simple thing that we have seen. Okay? Actual relation is a cosine function, negative cosine. Current we are getting, resulting current we are getting in terms of a negative cosine function. Negative cosine function can be written as equal to E0 by L omega into sine omega t minus pi by 2. In this expression, when sine omega t minus pi by 2 is equal to 1, then I becomes equal to I0. I0 is equal to E0 by L omega. E0 by L omega. In that sense, I can write I is equal to, that means when this is equal to 1, I0, I am writing I0 is equal to E0 by L omega into sine omega minus pi by. I becomes equal to I0 when sine omega t minus pi by 2 is equal to 1. Yeah, this also. When cos omega t is equal to 1, then I is equal to I0 is equal to, negative sign will be there. Okay, no problem. Negative sign will minus E0 by L omega. Original. Minus E0 by minus maximum. Negative maximum. So in this case, we can write here in the sine function, this equation where this is equal to I0 into sine what? Omega t minus pi by 2. What is applied EMF? E is equal to E0 sine omega. What is the resulting current? I is equal to I0 sine omega t minus pi by 2. The reason why I turned this cosine function into sine function is matching is easy. This is also sine, this is also sine. Matching. To compare it, it is very easy. This is omega t, this is omega t minus pi by 2. From the relation comparing these two equations of EMF and current, it is very, very clear that the current is behind the EMF by an angle pi by 2. So we have seen a very, very surprising, very special thing you have seen. Only because of the presence of the inductor, the current goes behind the EMF by an angle pi by 2. That means current is behind the EMF by a phase angle pi by 2. Who goes ahead? The EMF is ahead and the current is behind by an angle pi by 2. I can write, if I say current I is equal to I0 sine omega t only, then EMF I will write E0 sine omega t plus pi by 2. That means the EMF is ahead of the current by an angle pi by 2, or the current is behind the EMF by an angle pi by 2. This only we have explained today. So, due to the presence of special kind of circuit elements, there will be a difference in phase between the current and EMF. Now we will apply the phasor diagram. From this expression only we will write the phasor diagram. Most of the time the current is represented by IV along the x-axis direction horizontally, right? Now we have to say the EMF is ahead the current by an angle pi by 2. Pi by 2 means 90 degree. So this is what is called EV. EV, we will write this as equal to 90 degree. Right? So when a pure inductor is applied with an ACM of E is equal to 0 sin omega t, the resulting current is always behind the EMF by a phase angle pi by 2. Pure inductance circuit, phase angle phi is equal to pure inductor circuit, phase angle phi is equal to pi by 2. Right? This is what we call the phasor diagram. Phasor diagram must have two phasors. One is the current phasor and the other is the EMF phasor. So in this circuit, we are applying an AC EMF is equal to 0 sin omega t, and the resulting current is also AC only, having the same frequency. But it is not necessary that the current and EMF must go in the same manner. It means the current when becomes equal to 0, EMF is also equal to 0. There is no need for that. That happens only when the resistance only is there in the circuit. If an inductor is there, it is found that the current is lagging behind the EMF by an angle pi by 2. It means EMF is ahead and the current is behind by an angle pi by 2. This pi by 2 is called the phase angle between current and EMF. This is the phasor diagram. So always remember the phasor diagram, right? EV, EV up and IV. IV is in the x-axis and this is the y-axis, making angle 90 degree. And this is about right phase difference between current and EMF in a pure inductor circuit. You have seen. We have seen that also. Then I am coming to phasor diagram. That's a graphical representation. How graphical representation? Next is what? Graphical representation. The earlier one was what? Phasor representation. This is what? Graphical representation, right? So graphical representation, this is EMF. EMF is represented by E is equal to E0 sin omega t. And the current is equal to minus I0 cos omega t. Minus I0 cos omega t is written like this. This is minus I0 cos omega. Right? This is E and this is I. I is equal to minus I0 cos omega t. Where I0 is equal to E0 by L omega. Where I0 is equal to what? E0 by L omega. Always remember. Why this is negative? Because the resulting current we are getting as equal to E0 by L omega into minus cos omega t. When cos omega t is equal to 1, then I is equal to what? Minus E0 by L omega. E0 by L omega is what is called is equal to I0. The current becomes maximum when cosine value becomes maximum. That is equal to L omega, E0 by L omega is equal to I0 minus I0 cos, minus I0 cos omega t. That is why this, when EMF is 0, the current is negative. Current is the negative maximum. Negative value is more or 0 more. 0 is greater than negative. Am I correct? That means the EMF is ahead the current by an angle pi by 2. So this phase difference of phi is equal to pi by 2 also you will write. This is the phase and this is E oblique I and this is omega t. Omega t means theta. Am I correct? So this is the graphical representation of current and EMF in this case, right? Also from the relation we have seen that I0 is equal to E0 by L omega. I am writing once again I0 is equal to E0 by L omega. Ohm's law equation also everybody knows. What is that? I is equal to V by R. I is equal to V by R. I0 and I0 is matching. V and E0 is also matching. That means V is voltage, E0 is also voltage. Right? Therefore, R must match with the L. So in a pure inductor circuit, the resistance or the reactance or the opposition offered by the inductor to the AC current in the circuit is given by L omega. So in inductor circuit, resistance is called inductive reactance. Inductive reactance, I will write it, is called inductive reactance. Inductive reactance it is called. Inductive reactance is represented by XL. A big XL with a small L at the right bottom corner, right? Reactance is equal to XL. XL is equal to 1 by L omega. 1 by L omega, right? Is equal to what? Is equal to 1 by L omega, right? So E0 by I0. I0 V0 by L omega also we can write. I0 E0 by I0 is equal to what? E0. Sorry, this is L omega. XL is equal to L omega. So inductive reactance, because this is R, this also this one. This inductive reactance is given by XL. XL is equal to L omega. Right? This solution also important. I0 is E0 by L omega. Or I0 is E0 by XL we can write. What is XL? Inductive reactance. Always remember, inductive reactance XL is equal to L. Any time you will speak the same. Am I correct? This relation is also very important because E0 by I0 is equal to E0 divided by I0 is equal to L omega. Very important relation. Or E0 by I0 is equal to XL also. Is equal to XL L omega, right? Okay. E0 by I0 is equal to L omega. This is XL is equal to E0 by I0. For pure inductor circuit, XL is equal to E0 by I0 is equal to L omega. XL is equal to L omega, right? Same thing can be written. Omega is equal to 2 pi by T now. L into 2 pi by T into omega. That is equal to, sorry, L omega, no, sorry, L into omega is 2 pi by T. This is equal to L into 2 pi F, I can write. 2 pi by capital T is equal to 2 pi F. As a whole, we can write 2 pi L F. 2 pi L F. XL is equal to L omega, we can write. And also XL is equal to 2 pi LF also we can. What is F? F is the frequency of the applied EMF. Inductor circuit, what is the applied EMF? E is equal to E0 sin omega. What is the frequency of that? That is equal to F. Therefore, XL is equal to 2 pi LF. 2 pi is a constant, L is a constant. F can vary because AC EMF, whose EMF value can be varied, whose current value can be varied, whose frequency, every term, the term of that AC EMF can be varied, current value can be varied, EMF value varied, frequency can be varied. Right? You will see one more thing, that XL or inductive reactance of an inductor is frequency dependent. Reactance is not a constant. Reactance of an inductor varies with the frequency of the applied EMF. That is a very, very important thing, right? For DC source, DC current, F is equal to 0. Therefore, XL is equal to 0, I can write. What is there? XL is equal to 0 for, XL is equal to 0 for what? For DC. Because DC has no frequency. So in that case, as a funny statement, I can make that an inductor is a superconductor when it is supplied in a DC circuit. Why superconductor? That inductor does not offer any reactance at all. Right? But some resistance will be there because a coil is made of copper wire. Some resistance will be offered by that copper wire. So these are the things about, right? So DC, there is no reactance offered by the inductor. One more thing, there is a graph also we can make in this case. Graph means frequency along the x-axis and the x along the y-axis. If a graph is made, frequency along the x-axis and xl along the y-axis, if a graph is made, xl is equal to, right? XL is equal, everybody knows that is a 2 pi LF, or XL is directly proportional to XL is directly proportional to F. When frequency of the applied AC EMF increases, reactance also increases, and vice versa. Right? So this is about the pure inductor circuit I have explained you, right? Pure inductor circuit. So the other day, we will discuss about the power consumed in an AC circuit having pure inductance. So it will take some time. That's why that part is kept for the other day's class. So thank you very much and goodbye.